Hedgehog Hollow. Today we're going to be making another card from the catalogue. So today we are making on day 5, page 54. We're using this Get Well Soon image, and I really loved what they've done here with the colour wash and cutting it out. And it also utilises the new bronze embossing powder, which I'm really in love with and we've had a bit of a play with. This is a stamp set I've had actually for quite a while, but I haven't really done anything with it. So it was a good excuse to get it out the box. So this is what we're going to be making. And I took a little bit of artistic license. I've done a different colour with the heart. And my background card, rather than being white, I've done it actually with the mint macaroon, which is what we're going to use for the background wash. So the first thing you need to do is get a piece of the watercolour cardstock, which I cut down to size. And let me just grab my ruler to double check it for you. So that's 5.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. That's just under half a piece of the watercolour cardstock. Then what I've done is I've stamped out my Get Well Soon stamp, which I had here. And I stamped it with the Versamark pad. And you may have seen me do it before. We then use the copper embossing powder, and I've set it just so that the process is nice and quick for the video. And to get it centralised, I used my Stampin-Up, which you can look at our tutorial series to learn how to be able to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is our water wash, and I'm going to take one of my aqua painters. And what I've done is I've made a little puddle with my mint macaroon. So if you haven't done this before, I'm just going to do it with my Perfect Plum that's here. And what you do is you squish it together. That makes you a nice little puddle, and you can either paint with it directly like that, or you can add water to it, so I've done with my aqua painter, to make a wash. And then you can use it for all sorts of things, or you can put a piece and just splodge it down like this onto a tile and pick it up from there. But this is just nice and neat and convenient, and I just use a piece of kitchen towel afterwards. Now just a tip, something that I found the hard way. So when I was doing this one, I did my mint macaroon wash down my page, and then I found it wasn't big enough. So then I turned it over and had another go, and that didn't work either. And I also found that when the paper was wet, even though I tried to dry it off with my heat tool, my embossing powder didn't stick to it that well. So my tip is emboss first and then do your mint macaroon wash, which we're going to do now after. So I'm just going to pick up some of this, and I'm going to just backwards and forwards very roughly. And because it's the watercolour paper, it will take a nice amount of liquid. You don't need to worry about it being too wet. I'm just going to pick up a bit more colour into it. And it doesn't matter if you miss bits, because it's supposed to look like a nice wash. And I'm just going to fill out the edges. So that's that done. And the only thing I would say to do after is grab a piece of kitchen towel. Let me grab it here. And just go over your copper embossing powder, which will resist the mint macaroon. And you can see there that it gets that nice coppery shimmer back to it. So you can see that on there. I just wipe it off, that's all I do. And then close it back up. So it's a really easy clear up as well. Here's one I prepared earlier. So I just inked up my Get Well Soon stamp with my Perfect Plum ink pad and stamped it on a scrap piece of card. And all I actually want is this heart in the middle. So it didn't matter that all of it didn't stamp out. So then you need to go along and cut out the heart, and I'm leaving, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch gap around it. I'm glad I'm going to have 2 of these. I needed a Get Well Soon card the other day and I didn't have one, so it'll be handy to have a few in the cupboard. And then the next thing we're going to do is stick it onto our card base. So this is half a piece of A4 mint macaron, and I've just cut it long ways rather than the way that I would normally cut it, only because I needed a scrap for something else and I needed a long piece. So this is half A4, not half 8.5 by 11, so your measurements would be slightly different. And the first thing I do is get a piece of snail, and I'm just going to go along the edges. Now bear in mind your watercolour cardstock is slightly heavier than your normal cardstock. So either a little extra snail, or you could use some fast fuse or some Tombow, whatever your adhesive of choice is. Just bear in mind it is a bit heavier and thicker. And then lastly, just to finish it off, you take your heart. I'm going to use one of my edges because I found that whole dimensional didn't quite fit on, whereas one of these does. So these are just the edges that you get from the dimensionals. And then pop that onto there, like so. And that's all done for you. So that's a really quick and easy card. So it's taken me under 5 minutes. Okay, it might take you slightly longer with the embossing, but definitely within 10 minutes you could have a really lovely finished Get Well Soon card. And you could change up your heart into any colour as well. So I hope you're enjoying the new catalogue as much as I am. If you need more information, or you need cutting instructions and your shopping list, if you need to buy anything, just look in the bottom right hand corner, just down here. You'll find there's an arrow on your iPad and also on the PC or browser version of YouTube, and you can get a link to the blog post, or you can visit me directly at www.hedgehoghollow.co.uk. I can't wait to see your creations, and don't forget to use our new hashtag of #HedgehogHollow. And I'll see you again tomorrow for day 6. Bye!